Lesson 91 says order of operations with sign numbers and symbols of inclusion. A couple terms in there I want to make sure we know. Order of operations, of course we know, is reminded by this acronym right on the screen, PEMDAS. P-E-M-D-A-S, tells us the order that we operate within an algebraic phrase or sentence. But symbols of inclusion, do we know that term? Or what an example might be? Well, it's the first letter here, P. Parenthesis is the most common symbol of inclusion we'll see. But don't be misguided by the letter P. We might see brackets, which starts with a B, or even braces, which also starts with a B. So you'll see those too sometimes. And the idea is to remember that we solve within these first by following the rest of the order of operations. Then you'll finish the rest of the algebraic sentence, and we'll see what that looks like in a second. But sounds like we should probably review what these letters stand for. What's E? E can be reminded by that symbol. Exponent, multiply, divide, A, S, add, subtract. So don't forget your acronym. Be reminded of it while we work. I'll put that at the bottom of the screen. Hopefully it's there for you to see. It's not cut off. As we go along, the lesson will have a simplify, and we see a number phrase here. What do we look for first? We look for a P. P right here, P right here. Then within that, you're going to want to follow your order of operations. I don't see any exponents, so we'll have to make sure if there's any multiplying or dividing, those kind of happen simultaneously. Add, subtract, those happen somewhat simultaneously. So even though I see addition over here, I should not add these to become 4. If you want to add them together and you can't, you can keep things straight, make sure you're keeping the negative sign with the number. So instead of saying that this is minus 4, it's really negative 3 plus 1. And if you want to add first, that's fine. That gives us a negative 2, not a negative 4. Keep the sign with the number. And we still have another negative 2 in there. A negative 2 on the outside of the parentheses, which we know means a certain operation, right? Then we have another symbol of inclusion. Parentheses within a bracket. Within these parentheses, we simplify first. Negative 3 minus 2 is a negative 5 times 4, still brackets. Now we can take it to the next step. Please do not skip and try to do more than this in a step. Show your work so I know you know what you're doing. Within this first set of symbols, we have a negative 4 now. See how we would have ended up with a negative 6 if we tried to do 3 plus 1, and that wouldn't have worked. Keep the signs with the numbers, which we've been doing now. Minus, we can turn our brackets into parentheses. Negative 5 times 4 comes out to negative 20. Finishing, negative 2 times negative 4, positive or negative 8? Positive 8. Plus, plus, right? Plus, plus, negates each other. 20 plus 8 is 28. I hope that made sense. Let's try the other example from the book. Again, to start, PEMDAS, simplifying, we need to find our order or our symbols of inclusion first. Do you see any symbols of inclusion? We have parentheses to start. Let's do that. Within those parentheses, you have to decide, am I going to start subtracting or am I going to multiply? Well, look at your PEMDAS. I'm going to multiply way before subtract. Even if I can do these interchangeably, I need to make sure I'm doing those before I'm worrying about these. So within these symbols of inclusion, I keep it as negative 2 minus 15, right? 3 times 5. That can be tricky, easy to forget, easy to want to add these together first, then multiply. But what am I going to get if I do that? I'm going to get negative 25. This is going to come out to something different. 2 still hanging out behind or in front of these symbols of inclusion. Within the brackets, we simplify within these parentheses first. 3 minus 5 is negative 2 times 2 plus 2. I know there's a times and I did subtraction first, but that's because they're in symbols of inclusion. Then I worry about the outside of that symbol, which is also in symbols, right? You see brackets here. We're still going to stay within those before we go any further. We have like terms here, so we have to simplify that first before we start multiplying. Symbols of inclusion come before multiply, divide. Then we add, subtract outside symbols of inclusion. So clearly different than a negative 25 there. minus 2 times negative 4 plus 2. Notice again, I turn my brackets into parentheses when I'm ready to downgrade from that particular symbol of inclusion. Now, negative 2 times negative 17 negates the signs. We have two negatives equals a positive. You can check it on your calculator, 34. Minus, we can combine our like terms here. So it's 2 times negative 8. Final answer, uh-oh. See what I did? Did you catch me? I multiplied here. I should have added negative 2 plus 4. Let's say I did that on purpose to catch you. Were you paying attention? I hope you were paying attention. Comes out to 38. So to finish our lesson today, I'd like you to take practice A and B. Show me those before starting Monday's assignment, problem set 91. Thank you.